If you've come to the experience a long time, you know I'm not a big political kind of guy, but we've seen the needs in our country and the issues that are on the table, and it gets easier and easier to say there's nothing that I can do that will make a difference, so whatever they're going to do in Washington, they're a bunch of idiots, and I'm going to stay over here and mind my own business. And we embrace apathy. We crawl into bed with the enemy. We look at life in our spiritual family and we say, man, this should be different, or this should be different. We should have more of this. This should be going on. We need this. And then we just pass it on in apathy, going, whatever. It'll make a difference. Apathy is the enemy. It's not about being too busy. It's not about priorities. It's that we've embraced apathy. Second book of the Bible, Exodus, chapter 32, tells this amazing story. Because this story is, it's the exact opposite of apathy. While you're turning to Exodus chapter 32, second book of the Bible's full of 60-some little books. This is the second one. You got to get the backstory to this. This is the story of Moses and the Israelites. Okay, so Moses comes down to the Israelites. God calls him, says, hey, go lead my people out of Israel. Moses has been kind of hiding from everyone for about 40 years. He heads back, goes to the Israelites, and leads them out of Egypt. And he does this. They have been slaves for 400 some years. He goes to Pharaoh and says, let my people go. My people need to get out of here. And Pharaoh's like, yeah, right, you're slaves. I don't think so. You're not going anywhere. And Moses says, all right, fine. We'll see about that, and it becomes a battle of the gods. And there's 10 plagues that happen over Egypt, and you got to understand that each one of these 10 plagues is basically a slap in the face to the Egyptians' religion and their government. And you got to understand, in culture, it was kind of my God versus your God, right? So if you were slaves, then obviously the people who took you over, their God was bigger than your God because they beat you. So obviously your God isn't strong. So for 400 years, the people of Israel kind of had this message going on: our God stinks. And the Egyptians have been like, yeah, our God's kick your God's tail. Well, suddenly, the Israelites' God says, who is the God, says, you know what, not so much. And through these 10 plagues, basically decimates each big category of gods one by one, says your gods have got absolutely nothing, and your government can't do anything to protect you. So by the end of this, the king's like, flee. The Pharaoh's like, get out, please get out. And they head out, and God leads them out and into this weird, interesting predicament. And as you think about this, you may find references and parallels in your life. God brings them to a place of being completely stuck. There's a sea in front of them, mountains on either side, and by this point, Pharaoh's gone, wait a second, we just lost all our slave labor, let's go get them. And the army's chasing after them, so they got the army behind them, cliffs on either side, water in front of them, and the people are like, dude, Moses, hello, this was a bad plan. Because now we're not just going to be slaves, we're actually going to be slaughtered in the desert. Woo! Moses says, God, what do you want to do? God says, all right, go hit the water. He goes out. Water parts. The Israelites go through on dry ground. The Egyptian army rushes in after them. Moses turns around, puts out his staff again. The water comes down, drowns the army. And there are places where archaeologists and such have gone into the Red Sea and found remnants of chariots and stuff. So God's led them out. He takes them into the wilderness, taking them to the promised land, Canaan. And as they're marching, as they're walking across, he takes them to Mount Sinai, this mountain. And God says, get ready, because I'm coming down to talk to my people. And God descends down on top of this mountain with fire and lightning and cloud, and it's overwhelming. And he speaks to them the 10 Commandments. And the people of Israel are like, dude, Moses, don't let him talk to us because God's scary. That's freaking us out just a little bit. And Moses goes up into the mountain to talk with God. And while he's up there, the people start to get nervous. Because a whole month goes by and Moses hasn't come back. They're like, oh, what do we do? Oh, we need someone to lead us. We need a God. So they go to Aaron, who Moses has left in charge, and they say, make us a God. So they take a bunch of gold and they make a calf, and everyone throws a big honking orgy party. Worship orgy party.